the car just automatically heads to Maryville Road.
There's a saying that when you're doing what you love, you don't care about time. That definitely applies to Max Keeping. For 37 years, we have been witness to his passion for television journalism and devotion to our community.
Not what it was.
And it's been one heck of a great ride. Tonight, Max officially signs off for the last time, but not before we celebrate a man who helped make Ottawa and the Capital Region a better place to live. We wanted Max to be able to say goodbye to the studio where he spent so much time.
Think about, Jennings, Harvey Kirk, Charles Lynch, the people who have broadcasted from here, and more than 7,000 newscasts for me.
What was your dream for the final show? Where did you?
If it could have been from here, for the viewers to be able to connect with the studio where everybody has broadcasted from. You and I, 20 years here.
We should tell you, Max does not want us to do a final tribute show. He wanted simply to do what he does best, the news. So he gets his wish.
That's your chair.
You take yours.
You're going to make me cry too.
I'm not crying. Here now, the day's news from our new studio on George Street in the heart of Ottawa's Byward Market.
CTV News with Max Keeping and Carol-Ann Meehan.
Later, we look at 3 decades of your local CJOH CTV newscast. And over Max's mild objections, a few salutes.
Good evening, Max. On behalf of 900,000 residents in the city of Ottawa, we want to wish you all the best on this very, very important night. Rick?
Ottawa Council has decided we are going to name the next major arterial roadway Max Keeping Boulevard. So congratulations, Max.
Good on you, Max. Good on you.
You're Never Too Old has been a staple of Fridays for years on this sportscast. We brought you stories of men and women doing amazing things in their retirement years, people who inspire us. A perfect segue to Max, who doesn't go to gyms or play hockey or run. There's been no better friend to the sports community through the years than a sports fanatic from Newfoundland named Max Keeping. Max understands that world-class communities need sports. For baseball and hockey and football teams, Max has been there, always as a fan, often quietly offering his support in ways no one hears about.
Anything special we ever did, the first guy I'd call would be Max, and he would always be there to respond and help us in anything we were trying to do. Everything that sports in Ottawa has had a Max Keeping in some way or another involved, and always in a positive way.
When a group cobbled together a bid to bring NHL hockey to Ottawa 20 years ago, few people took them seriously. Max did. Now we have the Ottawa Senators.
He's a real believer in sport and the connection between youth and sport, and I think we certainly benefited from that, and I think the community did as well.
The stories we tell, all those remarkable high school students, and yes, those seniors every Friday, all those people with talent and dreams, they're all part of Max's legacy, and they'll be part of what we'll keep doing.
CTV's usually the first, to cover local sports and to get behind local sport. And again, it doesn't have to be at the professional level. It can be amateur, it can be CIS sport, it can be professional.
You're never too old. Today, let's call it You'll Never Get Old. As long as you think young and make a difference, you'll stay young. A lesson Max continues to teach all of us.
And thank you, Max. It's been a blast. That's sports. I'm Terry Marcotte.
So I'm fully dressed now, okay?
Yeah.
Boutonniere's here.
Yeah, so many years of seeing that on you. Looks good. But it is a day to turn the page here at CTV Ottawa. And it is a bittersweet day because it's Max's last day on this news desk and his last day sitting beside me. You're still going to see him out and about filling a role he created over 37 years ago as the station's most visible community ambassador. We lost a lot of newsroom memories in our recent fire on Maryville Road. Still, CTV Ottawa News at noon anchor Michael O'Byrne and editor Tony Zito managed to pull together what was left to tell the story of how Max's newsroom used journalism to build pride in our city.
Good evening, I'm Max Keeping. This is Newsline.
A trusted face delivering the day's top stories.
Good evening, I'm Max Keeping.
Max's newsroom is in fact your newsroom.
After you've watched our 60-minute newscast at 6, you'll have all the information you need to make the decisions to carry you through your day.
Our stories, your stories.
I think the news operation evolved to what people were looking for in their lives. As more and more people came to depend on television as a primary source of information, it was up to us to what is it that people want, and they wanted to know about their community. They wanted to know about the street in which they lived. They were concerned as to what are the values of the people who live here, so that we were reflecting that which was most important in their lives, to cheer in the triumphs, to grieve together in the losses. People expected us to be a reflection of the day-to-day in their lives.
A message that has survived the test of time.
What goes into 60 minutes of news? A lot of hard work. I like to think a lot of heart. A lot of the news today is not very pretty. It's not very easy to broadcast. It's not very easy for all of us to cover. We try to take all of the facts. We try to break them out and find out what they mean. What does it mean for you and me in our everyday lives?
The difference from 40 years ago and today is technology.
Good evening, I'm Max Keeping.
There is no difference in the reason we exist. CJOH exists to serve the community, the people who live in it.
And over the years, no story was too big or too far away to cover. We took our cameras to local communities.
Jack Fleischman, CJOH News in Cornwall.
Brian Borns has just won a decisive victory in Wellington Ward.
Lee Green, CJOH News, City Hall in Pembroke.
Some people in West Quebec are facing a sad anniversary today.
Across Canada.
It was Robert Louis Stevenson who wrote, "I travel not to go anywhere, but to go. I travel for travel's sake. The great affair is to move."
South of the border.
That was the reaction by Ottawa supporters when President John Ziegler announced that the national capital had joined Tampa as the newest members of the National Hockey League.
To faraway places.
This is Charlie Greenwell, CJOH News in Brussels.
Today, Jamaica is a sovereign nation all its own.
We took a local newscast and took it into Ethiopia. We took it into Holland and remembered the war stories. We took it into Scotland and traced our roots. We went to the Berlin Wall, the biggest thing that was happening in the decade, so that local news consumers here were getting it from their local news reporters.
What Max forced everybody to do is to tell the story that is understandable, that is clear, and that is from the people's perspective.
Al Mackay spent more than 20 years at CTV Ottawa, most of it managing the news division with Max.
We paid a lot of attention to national news that was happening outside of our own city, because it was important. We had a national audience in the sense that we had members of parliament. We paid a lot of attention to international news because, of course, Ottawa, as a nation's capital, had a huge amount of international people here, all the embassies, their staff and everything. And it was that human element that he brought it down in terms of the types of stories that we went after and the way we went after the stories.
An example of that, Canada's first artificial heart operation at the Ottawa Heart Institute.
Her name is Noella Leclerc. Here's this local station providing CNN with this amazing story, breakthrough.
For the next 2 days, Noella's condition continued to deteriorate here at the Heart Institute.
Again, it's the local station that doesn't behave like a local station, but there's a local element to all of this.
I was 2 months onto the job when I got called into the office and he said, "You're going to Berlin." And I said, "I'm going where?" the Berlin Wall is coming down. I said, yeah, that's not local. No, you're going to put a local slant on it.
CTV News.
Carol Ann Meehan has co-anchored the 6 o'clock news with Max for 21 years.
We did the show 10 days at the Berlin Wall, bringing that story back to our audience, putting our local perspective on it. It was an Ottawa Valley girl going to the Berlin Wall.
Please welcome your hosts, Carol Ann Meehan.
After the break, using journalism to build, promote, and unite communities.
I've encouraged everyone who works at CJOH News to be a part of the community, to try and reflect in our news programs the values of the community, the cultural values, the heritage. And most of all, I think we've succeeded in introducing compassion into the news.
$500,000. You are beautiful. Thank you. Oh, wow.
These flashbacks are happening for us, too, because we haven't seen the tape in advance, and there is more after the break. It is your journey, though, of the last 3 decades on your newscast.
And here's someone else who wanted to say a little thank you to you, Max.
Max, what can I say? I walked into your station, I was 22 years old, and I knew nothing. And yet you took a chance on me, hired me as a news reporter, and then spent the next 5 years trying to talk me out of wanting to do sports. And eventually I wore you down and you gave me another chance and let me do that. And I really think those chances you gave me, all the good fortune I've had in my career, is because of that. You cared more than anybody else, I think, in the history of this business. No one cared more about his newscast, no one cared more about his city, and no one cared more about his people. And by that I mean the people who watched you every night and the people who got to work with you. And I'm so honored to be one of those. So congratulations, and now I'm going to spend the next few years trying to convince you to do sports in your second career.
From hard news to regional contact to raising money for charity, we did it with purpose and with your support. So many stories, so many shows, so many lives touched. Once again, here's CTV's Michael O'Byrne.
New faces of Ottawa. Max.
We did 89 new faces of the CJOH viewing area.
You know, in the 53 or 54, 55 shows we've done, we've never really come right into Ottawa. And
It was essentially a half-hour showcase, and we would take any community and say, here's the community, this is how big it is, here's the industry, here's what's important there, and here, meet the people of that community and see them sing, see them dance, see them tell stories.
You know, there was a time where they tried to attract men to Ottawa because there were 6 women for every man.
I've often heard that, yes. They're not all good looking, you know. Are they?
Well, there's a few that's not bad.
Oh, you're damn right, I know that.
Did you have your 6?
6?
Well, there were 6 for every man.
Oh, yes, you said that. Oh, I didn't keep count of them.
People came from across the viewing area. People like to see themselves, people like to see their friends and neighbors on TV. Local television can do that. Regional Contact was born because we had 3 transmitters, one in Ottawa, one in Cornwall, and one in the Bay of Quinte. And the owner of the station said, find something in common for all of these people and put it into a program.
Faced with higher costs, many of Ontario's municipal...
Brooke McNabb was the original host of Regional Contact.
It was about finding the interesting people and interesting places and sharing what we all have in common in Eastern Ontario and Western Quebec. And it just started off, it was a very simple concept, and it just grew.
It's not all that difficult for the Braeside Police Department to operate within its annual budget of about $5,000. That's because right now you're looking at the entire force. Lock, stock, cop, and cruiser.
This story by reporter Dave McGinn about a one-man police force was typical of the early years.
One of the problems is when one man gets into trouble, the whole force is in trouble here.
The show looks a whole lot different today. The message, though, still consistently community.
Thank you very much for making time to join us.
Max would probably say, well, you know, it wasn't just me, and it wasn't. I mean, clearly, but he was a catalyst for it.
For a while, we actually used Regional Contact to tell people on both sides of the Ottawa River that that river does not divide us, that river unites us. And so when the country was threatening to tear itself apart, with the Ottawa River as the dividing line, we here were reminding people that that is what kept us together.
Join me now for the Hands That Heal Telethon.
The Civic Hospital Telethon in the 70s paved the way for others.
You are beautiful.
The CHEO and Heart Telethons today raise millions of dollars for community care.
I think we innovated what we called advocacy journalism. That is, we are cheerleaders for the community. I don't think it's an accident that we have the highest number of volunteer hours in the country, that we have the highest per capita giving for children's hospitals across North America, that the public service has the highest workplace giving for United Way. I think that CJOH CTV played a role in making that the priority.
Well done.
Children, youth, and families need a sustained commitment from all of us.
Children in Ottawa are now a priority, and CTV played a major role in creating a mindset where families and children reign supreme.
I do take some credit with this news operation for building that amazing character that we have of caring about children, caring about our children's health care. Think of it for a moment. When the community that you live in says children's health, children and family are the priority, that's the kind of place you want to live in. That's the kind of place you're very proud to be a part of.
But those things were furthest from the Ottawa group's minds as the celebrations began in mid-afternoon.
Scoring an NHL franchise is another source of pride for our community. Sports director Brian Smith was in Florida to bring the story to you.
It was one of the most thrilling moments I have ever had to hear Ottawa's name announced. Just a tremendous thrill, and the place went crazy.
I believe that the NHL franchise is the biggest thing that happened to Ottawa in the last 2 decades, in terms of economics, in terms of how it made the community more as one.
Go, Satyrs, go!
The excitement on the night that we broadcasted live, and I'm not sure that we all understood how it would so dramatically impact our lives.
A few years later, impact of another kind, the worst kind.
Good evening. Sportscaster, athlete, friend, Brian Smith died this afternoon.
Smitty was gunned down outside of our studios at 1500 Merivale Road.
There probably hasn't been anything more difficult for anyone in journalism than to report on the assassination of one of their own.
Good morning from St. Patrick's Basilica in Ottawa, a celebration of the life of Brian Smith.
We looked to the community and sought their support. The community rushed to us. His funeral was bigger than the state funerals.
Listen, and you'll hear a forest dying. Like gunfire, the sound of maples falling.
No story, though, over Max's 37 years in the anchor chair affected more people in our region than the ice storm of 1998.
This is hell frozen over.
Every time we hear freezing rain in the forecast in the next few months or maybe years, we'll get an eerie chill.
Brace yourself for more, even though many of us are still reeling from the first whack of a punishing ice storm.
Just a half hour from the capital, people are living day to day.
Just a mammoth amount of recovery.
Hour to hour.
1,407 soldiers from the 2 Canadian Mechanized Brigade in Petawawa arrived late this morning.
Ice Storm presented us with opportunities to tell stories about each other and how we were coping with adversity.
In Kingston, close to 75% of the area remains in the dark.
Most of all, it let people see each other and see how they coped. And they learned from each other and again drew on that strength of community that we've been developing for so long here.
Well, he's traveled with Trudeau, pissed off KGB, met leaders and actors and icons.
The message of caring and community will carry on here at CTV Ottawa. It's Max's legacy, Max's gift to all of us.
Journalism doesn't have to tear down. Journalism must expose. Journalism must find truth. But journalism, locally done and done well, carefully, and with pride,
But remember, the news is 24/7
helps to create
TV Ottawa.
better communities.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, folks. Good night.
Michael O'Byrne, CTV News.
What a great trip. It really was.
Yeah, you're not the only one with strange hair.
Am I going to have time to say thank you before we run out of time?
Hey, it's your show, boss.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I just discovered I've had no control on this one.
But first, one more person wants to say something to you, okay? Roll it.
Long before there was much research or any of those help manuals telling us how local news should be done, there was Max Keeping. Max didn't need anybody to give him a formula. He was a natural at connecting with his community, always in his element, whether it was a bingo hall in Carp or an upscale gala at the National Arts Centre. Yes, Max, you always led the way, and we have all benefited from your example. Good luck, and it's nice to know you'll still be around. We always appreciate your help.
One final time, I ask your indulgence. Please allow me to say thank you for the blessings that you've showered on me in the last 37 years. I have been so privileged to go into your homes nightly and humbled by the kind and warm wishes this week as I finish one mission and embark on the next one. To those I may have helped, thanks is not necessary. I have been given more in my heart than any human can possibly store. For those I hurt along the way, I ask your forgiveness. What we celebrate tonight is unique. You have used your local newsroom to define the kind of community that you want. You have held us to the highest standards of journalism while at the same time insisting our news programs reflect your values. And together, we have shaped a caring, compassionate community, committed to a place where children and family are priority, where children's health has the greatest importance, and you show that generosity to CHEO. And as well, right across the continent, none matches Ottawa. Because, you know, we're looking out for each other. It's the norm. It's natural in Ottawa. And you show that with your volunteer hours of contribution, and you show that with your public service donations. We have made this city for more than 3 decades. The CJOH CTV News and its audience in Ottawa, the Outaouais, the Ottawa Seaway Valleys, Kingston and Quinte. Thank you all. We have reflected to each other the hopes and the promises of the best hometowns in Canada. The extraordinarily talented journalists and producers and technicians who have toiled here believe in our founders' promise that this station exists to serve, to join its viewers in building strong, healthy communities. And that is the accomplishment to cherish tonight. It is not about me. It is about all of us. And one more time, please continue each day to make time to be important in the life of a child. Thank you. Carol Ann, it is yours to carry the torch.
We promise we'll try to do you proud.
You will.
Okay?
You will.
But before we say goodnight tonight, we want to share the many hairstyles and the fun that Max has shared with you over the years. And Max, thank you from all of us. Thank you.
Good night.
Morris Mullen, tell me, was Ottawa a good place when you were a boy?
Shall I say, I wasn't very impressed.
You weren't? Well, I've heard some people.
I'm an Irishman, you know, and I have to tell the truth. Where a lie won't suit, you know.
You may have noticed we're operating out of the newsroom here tonight. This is our home for 14 hours every day. There's a great big machine over there behind me, and somebody is typing out some of these results, and that's the way we're visually displaying a lot of our townships tonight. We're punching as much statistics as we can into what we call a chyron, and I'm not sure what that's the trade name for what, a videograph?
electronic character generator.
That's just as bad as Chiron.
I had a letter. Somebody said, Mother, giving little son a hard time. You know, if you continue to tell fibs like that, when you grow up, you're going to be a forecaster. Was that your mother?
No. But if you keep telling stories like that, my credibility as far as weather goes will be lost.
Hey, we do have a lot of fun.
We do.
And you're having fun too, eh?
Yeah.
You were singing very nicely.
Sure. I'm going to sing some more.
Could I see you later?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Right after the commercial.
I remember here following a donkey through one farm up in Lanark County. Went to the bath with Miss New Universe. Well, did she come from outside of Ottawa? Yeah, she was from the States.
For most people, it's a dislike of their managers that's making them so grumpy. Later on CTV News.
I love my job, Max. And you.
Guess that leaves me, huh?
You need some bailing out there?
Catch us.
My apologies.
I apologize too, and I'm taking a few days off. I'm not quitting.
Better than getting a letter from home, getting supplies.
I was trying to get 20 seconds to say I was going off for an operation, and I...
This man is Mr. Ottawa.
Thank you.